I got some rules. No women, no children.
Dad, you gave me your word. You're getting out of that business.
That ain't gonna happen. You know what I am? I'm a people person.
Hey guys, Lucas here again for another movie review. Today it's for the new Stallone flick, Bullet to the Head, which stars Sylvester Stallone, Sung Kang, and Jason Momoa. Now, as most of you know, I'm a big Stallone fan, and just in general, a big 80s action fan, and that's why I enjoyed The Last Stand, which is actually probably my favorite movie that I've seen so far this year. So I am a big fan of these 80s action stars because I grew up watching them, and before I saw any trailers or anything for this, I was excited because it was Stallone and another actor, Sung Kang, I've never heard of, but these two guys that are teaming up together for a kind of an 80s throwback movie based on a graphic novel. And I was also excited because it's almost like a buddy movie, and it's directed by Walter Hill, who directed the movie that basically started the buddy cop genre with 48 Hours. So I was very excited to see this movie until I saw the trailers, and even for a Stallone movie, it just still looked cheesy and bad. And unfortunately, this is one of the more poor Stallone movies I've seen in the past couple of years. This is a throwback to the 80s action movie for sure, and you could just tell by this premise. Stallone, who's a hitman, he gets set up and his partner is killed, and he's supposed to get killed too, by this guy named, played by Jason Momoa, and he gets teamed up with this cop, I think from Washington DC, played by Sung Kang, whose partner was also killed. So they kind of team up together to find the killer of their partners, and stupid stuff, but good action ensues. Now, as you can tell, that's a very, very 80s plot. It's extremely 80s, and the movie almost seems like it wants to be 80s so bad that it almost becomes it definitely becomes extremely dated. And I'm going to make a lot of comparisons to the Expendables in this review because Expendables does this type of thing much better. The Expendables is a throwback to the 80s action movies, but the thing with those movies is everyone seems to be having fun. One of the problems with this movie is Stallone just doesn't seem like he cares that much, and that could also be due to his chemistry with the other actor played by Sung Kang. This guy, I've never heard of him before. I don't know if he's like a big star in Korea or wherever he's from, but he is not a good actor, and that could possibly be because I doubt that English is his first language, but he and Stallone just do not have good chemistry, and I don't really blame Stallone because this guy is just not that good of an actor. Every scene he seems to be getting worse, and his dialogue delivery just seems to get worse, and he just doesn't fit. And this movie is just too 80s, from everything from the premise to the soundtrack to just even the look of it, this very sweaty, almost kind of gross, dirty looking palette that the film has, because it does take place in New Orleans. Everything screams like bad 80s cop action movie, and it just, unlike the Expendables, again, that I'm going to make a reference to, I'm probably going to make a few more, those movies had 80s type action, but they were big enough to still satisfy modern action fans. And if I had to say something, like, the biggest positive about this movie is the action is well done. It's brutal, it's shot for the most part pretty well. A couple of times it's pretty shaky, but Walter Hill still does know how to direct action, and the film, it does move at a fast pace. You're never bored because there's always something there to keep you going, whether it be just laughing at the acting and or dialogue, or you just get a good action scene. And for the first 30 minutes, this movie did have a cool 80s action movie feel. I felt like I was watching like an 80s action movie on the big screen, but after the first half of this movie, it just becomes so dated and cheesy that it doesn't really even become fun anymore. But by far the biggest problem that I have with this movie is the script. And I know you're going to be thinking, hey, you're an 80s action fan, you're going to expect a bad script. But this movie doesn't even have good lines. Like, even the bad lines in this movie are just, they started off fun, and then they just kept getting progressively worse and worse to where you're just like, who wrote this? And that's the thing is, part of the reason why I don't think these actors have good chemistry is not only do they not have that great of acting skills, I'm talking about the, Asian actor, they just don't have good lines to deliver, and one of the things that made me mad is all the good lines or fun lines Stallone doesn't even have. He has all the majorly lame and just boring lines. Some of the villains have the best lines in the movie, and that's one of the action rules 101. You do not give the villain, you can give him a couple of good lines, but you give your action star the good lines. And Stallone has really nothing to say or do besides kick some ass. My last Expendables reference is that what Expendables does the best that this movie does the worst is that Expendables has a script that has half actually funny lines, or decently funny lines, and a good camaraderie between the characters. It also has a mixture of bad lines, some that are cringeworthy, but some that are also so bad that they're fun. This movie, 90% of it is just really bad dialogue, and then you get 10% that are okay to so bad that they're fun, and it just doesn't have a balance. It's like 90% crap, 10% fun, and that's not an even balance. This is just not that good of a movie, even for what it's trying to be. It's just too dated, too cheesy, and the script and dialogue is just so horrible that it's not even really fun. So even if you're a Stallone fan, I would have said check this out on DVD, but as the movie kept progressing and progressing, I think it would be really just if it's on TV late at night, and then that's only it would be good for. But as in terms of paying a ticket price, it's not good enough, and it's not up to Stallone standards. And for that reason, I'm going to give Bullet to the Head 2 stars out of 5. It pains me to say it, I was looking forward to it, but it's not that good. So comment below, tell me if you've seen the movie, were you disappointed, or did you get what you wanted from it? Tell me if you thought it was one of Stallone's more disappointing movies, and if you want, tell me what your favorite Stallone movie is. And of course, if you like this review, please subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys later.
I know, I've heard the speech. You should have taken him in.
You and me, got a little unfinished business to take care of.
What are we, Vikings? Bang. Down. Home. It's history.